Hello, my name is Sebastian Jimenez from the course of Material Design for a Face-to-Face environment. In this video, I'm going to show you several important topics about language learning materials. What should English language learning (ELT) materials have? The teacher should also bear in mind that since knowledge is socially built, first taking part in group learning activities is a must as the adsense motivation improve self-esteem in student and lower anxiety and prejudice. Additionally, they are helpful in sharing information, cooperating with each other learning, enhancing commitment to subject learning as well as to developing a sense of belonging to the educational institutes and classmates. Furthermore, it is relevant to highlight the valuable element of enjoyment in our practice and in the material being produced for our student, which results in having students motivated and engaged in a comfortable, which are materials should help learning, materials should help learners to develop confidence. Material should expose to learning to language in authentic use. Materials should be culturally relevant. Materials should strengthen challenge the learners. Materials should build intercultural awareness. These materials could be considered effective if they facilitate the learning of a language by increasing learners' knowledge, experience, and understanding of, yet simultaneously helping learners learn what they want and need to learn. The effectiveness of materials used for language teaching depends largely on how meaningful, relevant, and motivating they are to the learners. These three conditions are met when there is a match between the materials and tasks proposed in them, with the learner's needs, interests, attitudes, and expectations. What are the proposals for principal approaches to the development of ELT materials? A prerequisite for language acquisition is that the learners are exposed to a rich, meaningful, and comprehensible input of language in use. Make sure that the materials contain a level of spoken and writing text which provide a stamping experience of language being used in order to achieve outcomes in a variety of tests, tips, and generating relations to topics, themes, events, location, etc., likely to be meaningful to the target learners. Make sure that the language the learners are exposed to is authentic in the sense that it represents how the language is typically used. If the language is inauthentic because it has been written or reduced to exemplify a particular language feature, then the learners will not acquire the ability to use the language typically or effectively. In order for the learners to maximize their exposure to language in use, they need to be engaged both affectively and cognitively in the language experience. Prioritize the potential for engagement by, for example, basing off a unit on a test or a task, which is likely to achieve affective and cognitive engagement rather than on a teaching point select from a syllabus. Make use of activities which get the learners to think about what they are reading or listening to the end to respond to it personally. Make use of activities which get learners to think and feel before, during, and after using the target language for communication. Language learners who achieve positive effect are much more likely to achieve communicative competence than those who don't. Make sure the tests and tasks are as interesting, relevant, and enjoyable as is possible so as to exert a positive influence on the learner's attitudes to the language and to the process of learning it. Set achievable challenge with help to raise the learner's self-esteem when success is accomplished. Stimulate a emotive response through the use of music, song, literature, art, etc. Through making use controversial and provocative tests, through personalization, and through inviting learners to articulate their feelings about a test before asking them to analyze it. Two language learners can benefit from using those mental resources, which they typically utilize when acquiring and using their language one. Make use of activities which get learners to visualize and/or use inner speech before, during, and after experiencing a written or spoken test. Make use of activities which get learners to visualize and/or use inner speech before, during, and after using language themselves. Make use of activities which help the learners to reflect on their mental activity during a task, and then to try to make more use of mental strategies in a similar task. Language learners can benefit from noticing silent features on the input. Use an experiential approach in which the learners are first of all provided with an experience which engages them holistically. From this experience, they learn implicitly without focusing conscious attention on any particular features on the experience. Rather than drawing the learner's attention to a particular feature of a test and then providing explicit information about its use, it is much more powerful to help to learners, preferably in collaboration, to make discoveries for themselves. Learners need opportunities to use language to try to achieve communicative purposes. Provide many opportunities for the learners to produce language in order to achieve intended outcomes. Make sure that these output activities are designed so that the learners are using language rather than just practicing a specific feature of it. Design output activities so that they help learners to develop their ability to communicate fluently, accurately, appropriately, and effectively. Thank you for watching this presentation.